Welcome back to another Alliance War video. We have 4 Loki versus JA Jedi Assassins. They banned Hulk, Titania, and Spidey 99. Obviously, this is one of the top war alliances, so it's going to be a tough war, but a fun one. So, first up, swapping out my team from last war, I am bringing in CGR for the first time into war. And then I'm also bringing in OG Iron Man for the first time in anything. I have used him in Battlegrounds and just tested him out since obviously he got his buff. And I'm also bringing in Void for one fight. I didn't explain the new global in the first war, and I didn't have any decay or any global defenders in the second war. So you see here the global attack tactic. Basically, whenever you're immune to a buff or a placebo buff, you place a wither on the opponent. And if you knock them down, you have a percentage to slow them per how many debuffs you have on them. And so basically the defender tactic, whenever you make contact with them, they place a placebo buff on you. And whenever a buff expires, whether it's a dex buff or any buff, they have a chance to go unstoppable. So that's why the global defense tactic and the attacker tactic go hand in hand. Now, while Void is a attacker tactic, I still have to be aware of Sorcerer Supreme's defensive tactic that if I dex, she is going to go unstoppable unless I have a slow on her. So I'm taking that fight. I'm also taking this Killmonger. It's a rank 5 Sig 200. This Terax, I'm also taking on path 6. And I'm taking that bishop right after on path 6. And that's it for me. I got a short war, just some lane fights the way it worked out. Mad Cat and Andrew are taking a load of fights this season. So you can see Andrew already actually finished his 10 fights for the war. So first up is this Sorcerer Supreme. And the reason I went with Void over Sandman or anybody else is because I can't parry here because it has like some sort of like Limber-esque type of node. I am tech boosted for my CGR fights, just going to go in with it. And Void, basically, I chose him because if I have to, parry or beta heavy or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to be doing damage over time with his mechanics. And she only has 140k health pool, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get some withers on her, and then get my SB1. And get a slow on her, and then I don't have to really worry about dex. But I am going to try to dex early so I don't trigger the dex, if that makes much sense, and just be mindful of having a slow on her. And that's all she wrote. Basically, with the withers, and if I get a petrify, which I don't, I'm going to reverse her power gain, essentially. So I use my relic there. I also have a Spidey 99 relic on Void to basically go buff immune. So that fight was pretty straightforward. I did give it some thought on what relic and attacker I wanted to use. But now I have CGR coming up, and I've assigned CGR like 100 times probably over my time planning. And I've looked up videos and told people how to do a rotation and everything. And when it came down to me doing it, I was like, okay, well, what rotation do I want to do? I recently saw a video of my boy Oakley, and he murdered this Adam Warlock, his arch rival, if he wants to call it. And I liked his rotation, but he had an R5, so that combat power rate is higher. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because I'm using full recoil masteries and I'm using a power start 1. So I'm going to do a light ending combo, and at this point, I want to parry and then do a medium ending combo into my SB2. And that will push me red, and then I'm going to trigger my last judgment with my my SB3. So he is now power locked. Damnation is set in, but this SB3 just does a massive amount. So he is dead. But yeah, that's CGR for you. So I was going to take this with OG Iron Man and do Absman for this Terax, but I just figured CGR would just be much better for that Killmonger, and I don't have to, really kind of mess around. And I know Absman is better for Terrax, but you'll see how this goes. It's the same exact plan. Nothing essentially changes. I don't have to worry about healing after this fight, so his energy damage doesn't really matter. The only thing that would slow me down is if he's running Inequity, and those armor breaks are going to reduce my my damage. But based off of the last fight, I'm oh, I did look at return policy here, and I was like, man, I'm going to armor break him, but he doesn't have any armors, so I'm not armor breaking those. I'm just armor breaking in general. I was like, you know what? If I push him, I'm not going to push him red because of his sig. He'll be dead before it even matters, if that's even the case. But it doesn't matter. So, yeah, basically it's just the same combo. And if I don't get enough power for an SB3, the SB2 would definitely be there. And it's there either way. And he's dead. Same thing. CGR absolutely smokes in war. It's just a joke of a fight whenever one gets to use him. So, you know, these fights are pretty straightforward and easy to get his rotation off. So next up, I have this Bishop, and OG Iron Man with his buff is actually Incinerate immune, and he can block unblockable specials. So Bishop, the main danger with Bishop is that he's going to throw his SB1, and it's going to incinerate you. Well, I don't have to worry about that. It's going to be unblockable. Don't have to worry about that because he can block unblockable specials from mutants. And his big SB2 basically is what can hurt through the block with all the prowess. But the node will give him prowess if I block any specials. But Iron Man basically removes them with his special one. So I'm really just going to try to push him to an special one, special two, I mean, and bait it and block it, and then kind of gauge my damage here. He's an R5, so I go to my special 2 first, I believe, yeah. And here I want to bait this, and I'm not going to try to parry it. I'm not really too worried about that. He did gain 4 prowess, but I throw my special 2 here, and I invalidate those prowess, so I'm like, alright, perfect. I have 12 armor ups now. And right here at this point, I relic into my my special 1, and he has 3 armor breaks, and so I'm like, okay, that's a 22k medium. I'm like, he just needs to throw this, and he's dead. Like, I'm gonna throw his last special 1 to get more armor breaks, but he's dead. Like that's just an absolute Bishop nuke. I may like him better than I Doom for it, but that was my war. We did win this war 5-7, so GG's to JA. We did have a lead at the end as PWF just nuked 10 fights to close it out for us. Shout out to B McG, Andrew, and Madcat for the MVPs. And it feels good to get a win on the new season. Hopefully we can turn it into 2 in a row. We have a short little war break before the next one starts on Wednesday. So I will see you guys in the next one.